Welcome to the Underground.
Turn me up, bitch!
My Little Underground with Peter A.
It's My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. Make sure you're subscribed anywhere you get podcasts, and make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at MLU Pod. You can also support My Little Underground for as little as $1 a month. The link is in the show notes and over at peteraradio.com. Today on the show, we have Lamarck, host of The Fresh Movement, which airs every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. over at party1019.com. And we'll talk to Lamarck about the humble beginnings of the show in college radio, getting sponsorships for the show, finding a new co-host, and so much more right here on My Little Underground. Lamarck, welcome to My Little Underground. How you doing?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the Fresh Movement, the reason why you're here. And I remember when you first started it way back at WKRB, our alma mater over at Kingsborough Community College. So what was your initial goal for the show? Like, what kind of program were you looking to create?
Well, yeah, shout out to Kingsborough. I wasn't really back then. I was just trying to create like a creative outlet for me to just like talk my stuff on. Honestly, like I really wasn't looking for it to be something like this monumental thing. Like I was just looking for something to just talk, be creative and just do something dope. But it's become something that is like, I got some new hosts coming up. I have we got some really dope guests. Like it's 5 years now. Like it's become something super, super inspirational. So it definitely wasn't like that when I first started. I just want to talk, honestly.
And you thought radio was like the perfect platform for you to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to be a star. I just didn't know, like, I couldn't really sing as good as I really want to. So I was like, okay, I can't do that. And I just felt like media, radio, television would be the perfect fit for me. And I don't know if you shout out to Chad. He's the
My
one that
man.
helped me. Yeah, he's the one that really helped me kind of get into the station because before that, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But Chad kind of helped me get my own show together. So shout out to Chad.
Yeah, and I remember, doing my show over there, and it was, I was kind of like you. I just wanted to talk my stuff and, showcase, some artists in the local area. And I was actively trying to set myself apart from the rest of the shows on 90.3.
Right.
Were you doing the same thing? Were you trying to, okay, let me be different. Everyone's doing this, and I'm going to do that.
I don't think I tried to be different because I think at that point, no one was really doing like hip hop. I mean, they were doing like, I think Amber was doing hip hop and I think Chad was doing hip hop, but they were kind of like servicing on like 90s hip hop. And I don't think anyone was doing like pop culture or anything like, because I wanted to do hip hop, pop, and R&B. So like, I don't think anyone was ever doing that when I was there. So I didn't feel that way. If anything, they were very encouraging for me to do something different like that. So I didn't feel the competitive vibes, if that's what you're like, I'm asking.
Oh no, not like
Oh.
on a competitive thing. Oh,
Right.
absolutely not. We were on the same team. It was just everyone was just from a creative standpoint. Like everyone was doing this kind of show, and I wanted to do that kind of show. Like I was, you know what I mean. Everyone, if some were right, I was left. If you were up, I was down. You know what I mean? Like, did you have that same mindset, or you were just okay? Everyone is kind of.
No, yeah. I really liked. I kind of mimicked. I don't want to say mimicked, but I liked Amber's show a lot. And I was like, okay, I want to do something like that, but I don't want it to be, again, because Amber and Chad focus on like 90s radio, 90s hip hop. And I really didn't want to do that. Like, I really want to do what's current, what's happening now. And I felt like, and I want it to be like Wendy Williams meets Sway, if that makes sense.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I was trying to figure that out. And I hope that I made it, in that realm. But yeah, they were super, like you said. I didn't kind of mean competitive because that's kind of shade, but everybody was super dope. Brooklyn College is our radio. That's where the competition started to set in with the egos and stuff. But like Kingsborough was definitely. I'm super glad and grateful that I was able to start there first because like they, especially shout out to Alyssa. I shout out to everybody over there. Like they gave me so many good tools, good advice, and I really wish that was a 4-year school because that would have been, something dope to stay with.
Yeah, and like WKRB was a very interesting place because like you said, it was, it was very community driven. Like I would be on other people's shows and people would come into my show. It
Right.
was very, very cool. I love that atmosphere. I miss that
Same.
about college radio and stuff. But so how did you bring the fresh movement over to Party 1019?
Well, at the time I was doing Brooklyn College Radio, and it was shitty, and I felt it was shitty because they were so like not supportive, and everybody was trying to be like the next Charlemagne, the next Wendy Williams, or the next Angela, like whoever. Like they was all trying to top each other, and I was just like, and mind you, these people didn't have intros, they didn't have promos, they just had a big mouth. So I was like, okay, this is not gonna like I can't stay here. Like this is not gonna work. And I remember when I was back at WKRB, the party guy hit me up, but like I never like looked at it like because I was like, this may be a scam or something like that. But I think Tatiana, she came I think after you, so I don't know if you know who Tatiana is.
Yeah, I think because I went back a few times
Right,
just
right.
to visit Alyssa and stuff like that.
So like Tatiana and I think Kendra, they were like on the fence of doing party or whatever, and I was like maybe I should reach out again and see if if the offer still stands, and it did, and we had a meeting and he loved what I was doing, he loved my show, and he gave me a chance. So shout out to party, we've been rocking ever since.
I was always kind of confused as to what kind of station Party
Mhm.
1019 was. Like it looked very professional, so I thought was kind of commercial esque. So what kind of station is it really?
Party it's internet radio, but it's internet radio that is broadcasted on the iHeartRadio app and radio.com app. So you can listen to it on the internet, but because they have the radio.com deal, I mean the radio.com deal and the iHeartRadio deal, you can also listen to it via the app. So when I first started, it was like it was a cute little studio. Like it had some chairs, it had a banner. It was cool. Like it was just on TuneIn radio app and it was on the website. But they built up and got the brand deals with the bigger names and was able to broadcast their station through bigger platforms.
So I understand some of their shows are simulcast through Nexus TV. So is the Fresh Movement the same deal? Like, can I listen to your show, in the traditional radio format, iHeartRadio.com, or I can watch the Fresh Movement on Nexus TV?
I think you can do all of it. You can definitely do. I know before you can do it on Nexus TV. I'm not sure as of right now how that would go because of the pandemic. But before it was on certain channels through Brooklyn, I think Manhattan, like the But I didn't get it because I live in Queens. But yeah, before it was definitely on the Nexus TV thing, and it was definitely on iHeart. We just got the Real.com deal like maybe a month ago. So yeah.
What's another medium that you would bring the Fresh Movement to? Would you turn it into a podcast or maybe a TV show or what?
The next medium, I would definitely like a TV show. I feel like a podcast. I don't know. Like I like podcasts. I think podcasts are dope. For me, podcasts, it kind of like the fresh moment in my mind. I always envision music, and with a podcast, I don't think you can kind of have music with the show. Like music, kind of like zens me to do my next break. Like I don't know about like when you do your show, but like when I would like listen to music, it was like okay, like I gotta get into the zone. Like the music would kind of hype me up to my next break. So like music is kind of like the secret, silent other host in the show, if that makes sense.
Oh, it's perfect
Right.
because when I did college radio, freeform radio, and commercial radio
Mhm.
on the air, especially with commercial radio because you don't pick the songs. If
Right.
there's a right group of songs, like if I hear Cardi, Migos, I'm gonna get very excited, and my
Right.
next break is gonna showcase that.
Right. Right. Right.
And you're right about that. But I think for me with podcasting, I love interviews. I
Mhm.
love doing interviews. So and I love music too. So let me just talk to musicians. But you're right in that sense that the music is the your guest,
Right.
and it helps fuel, the rest of the show. And if the music sucks, then the host is gonna, suck too in that regard because they're not
Yep.
gonna have the passion or the energy to continue.
Exactly. Exactly. And honestly, with Party and this new direction, they're actually going more and more professional. So like, as far as like music choices, please people stop sending me your music because I may not even be able to play it. So please like chill with the music because we have a lot of commercials now, so it's becoming very more like a commercialized station. So
Right. Okay. So you guys are kind of like monitoring
Right.
spins and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Okay, that's cool. So are you aware of the size of the audience of your show? Like, does Party give you metrics?
Yeah, they gave me like demographics. They gave me some type of people that we listen to, like where they're coming from, and we get a lot of people that listen to the app, like a lot. Like I think the most I've had are probably either from between 5K to 10K of just all around of the months, and we got a lot of people from London too. So shout out to UK, which I think is super, super, super dope. And shout out to all the artists from London because they are always hitting me up as well. And I don't know how that will work. Maybe I could do a Zoom with them, but I'm always like that. Like London always gives us mad love. So yeah, we get some metrics from that. I haven't seen anything recently again since the pandemic, so I don't know what the numbers look like now, but they have to look some type of good for us to get the Rare.com deal. So hey, I guess
You're
we'll see.
saying 5,000 to 10,000 unique listeners for just your show,
Well,
or just the
from
station as a whole?
well, station as a whole, station as a whole,
Oh, okay,
station
okay.
as a whole. I don't have the numbers for just my. It just goes by like months and like the months in certain days, so it's not even. I can't really pinpoint it for my show, so I don't have the privilege to seeing those numbers for exactly my show, if that's what you're asking me.
So since you saying Party is moving towards more like a commercial style, monitoring spins for music and stuff like that,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
they taking into account, listenership for specific shows like yours?
I hope so. I hope so. I feel like that's more of a party question. I really hope so, man. I really hope that they kind of look at that and know that no shade to what they was doing before, but we definitely got some people on my side that when I started to join. So hopefully looking at that. I don't know. I kind of want to toot my own horn, but hey, it is what it is.
How do you feel about doing a live weekly radio show in the age of on-demand content consumption?
I think it's cool. Like I think that at the end of the day, people somewhat like to feel like they are involved. And I think that radio is the only platform that kind of makes you feel like you're involved a little bit because it's live. Like TV, you see it, it is what it is. I mean, some of those shows are live to a certain extent, but I think with radio, like it's live, you can call in, you can hit that person up saying, I don't like how you said that. Like I just feel like radio gives you that automatic, like, okay, I'm here. It gives you real information at the real time. So I think that and now we're doing videos with that. So I think that it is a lot of people saying it was dying, but I think that it's just be I think that it's just transforming into something different. I think radio is will stay cool, but I just think that it has to add a video aspect to it. Like as far as like I think the Breakfast Club is on like is it Revolt TV? Like something like that. People like, so I think you have to have two different mediums. Like for the people that drive to work, people that come home from work in the car, and then the people that just like to watch TV. Like you have to have visuals for the platform. I hope I
Yeah,
answered your
yeah,
question.
that's 1,000% right because to be in the radio industry specifically is really like the audio industry or
Mhm.
any other media too, because the on-air content can turn into an on-demand content like a podcast. It
Right,
could be a live broadcast. It could also be a YouTube video. It could be an Instagram story. It could be so many different things.
right.
So aside from like the interactiveness of live radio, like what's another unique aspect of radio that you cannot find in any other media?
Um, Well, I think for me, and this is me personally, and because I've done some radio stuff, I think it's just the creativity. I think that you can be very creative on television, but you have to get that approved by a lot of different producers. I think in radio, you usually just have one producer, and they usually sometimes the talent kind of oversees the producer, depending on who the person is. But I know for me personally, like I'm the producer and host, so I nothing like I can say whatever I want on my show, and I don't have any pushback from the station, from iHeart, from anybody else. Like so that gives me full control to say how I please. I can't curse, but with the whole Black Lives Matter situation, they did not give me any things I couldn't say. I know a lot of friends that I have that are on certain things that couldn't really say certain things, or when certain topics come up, they can't really say anything because they don't want that station may not want to rock the boat, or like that television show may not want to do that. But I don't get that from parties, so I really, really appreciate that from them.
Yeah, I remember when I was on commercial radio, and I would say whatever I want,
Hmm.
within FCC limits. And I would get phone calls from my program director, and he would just kind of give me notes like to help me. He didn't tell me, you can't say that, you can't say that.
Right.
He just said, oh, you should say it like this, or you could say it like that faster, you get to your point quicker. Because I
Hmm.
would make fun of 45 all the time, and
Right.
I would talk about Black Panther like every other break, and
Hmm.
or Cardi B, what she was doing. Like,
Yeah.
no one told me you can't say that, you can't say that. But it was more like helping me to get to that,
I
the
feel you.
next step. Do you have that? Is there anybody at party that really kind of helps you get to that next level?
I mean, I have Rick that's always on my back about certain things like that. But as far as like my talk breaks, he's pretty lenient with that. But everything else, he's on me about. But yeah. So I definitely have someone like that. Also, shout out to rest in peace to Chadwick. He said Black
Yeah,
Panther, and
yeah, that
that was
really was
sad.
just unbelievable. Because I
Yeah.
saw that movie in theaters twice, and it was like our movie because
Right.
we don't get a lot of superheroes and stuff.
Mhm.
So it was wow, just
Yeah.
amazing. And again, like when I was on the radio, I would talk about that movie all the time for like because there was always something new coming out about the movie. Like it broke some record, and it was just always relevant to talk about, even
Right.
after the movie was already in and out of theaters.
Yeah. It was it was such a it's just you just never know, and like life is just so crucial, and I feel like you have to live every day. It's like it's your last. I know it sounds so cliche, but like it is. It's definitely true in my life anyway.
100%. So are you currently listening to live radio? Like, is there anything that's like, okay, I need to tune in at this time to listen to this show. I can't miss it.
No, that sounds so fucked up. Yeah, no. There's nobody that I like. It depends on like if they have maybe a celebrity I like, which is rare because you don't see celebrities are a lot. But that's a whole other show. Yeah, I don't. There's not really anybody that I would like. Oh, I got to make sure to tune into the show like it's happening. I mean, I think that I like everybody's creative side, but there's no. I don't know. Like I've never really watched somebody and was like, oh, I have to stay into this show. I mean, I like the Wendy Williams show. I think she's dope. I think the Breakfast Club is cool. I think Sway is dope. But I thought the real was cool. I don't know what's happening with the real now, but yeah, I don't really have it. But I don't. Yeah, I don't think I have that like a show that like I really want to tune into. I think some podcasts are cool, but I mean, yeah, I don't really have something that I really like. I have to like listen to it right now for some reason. I don't know. Is that weird?
Okay. Do you want to be that for someone eventually? Do you want to be someone's go-to
I
radio
mean,
show?
that's the goal. Like
Yeah.
it's always cool to like have like people that look up to you or like inspire, but I don't ever want it to be forced. Like I don't I say this on all my shows that I appreciate everybody for listening because you really don't have to, and that's real because a lot of people don't have to listen to those shows. So it gets me mad when like certain celebrities or like pop figures public figures like get so antsy with like their fans or they're just like, oh, I don't want to take a picture. I'm like, you're here because these people really like got their time out of their busy ass days to really sit here and either listen to your music, listen to your show, whatever. And I just feel like that's kind of wrong. But we all have our ups and down days. But I never got that with the whole fan thing. So I'm always that's the goal. I'm sorry if I'm not answering your questions. I'm like going in
No.
circles.
No, you, you
so,
know, you're fine. You're fine.
um, but
So you brought up Charlemagne, you brought up Sway
right.
and Wendy. Is there anybody else that you grew up listening to?
I mean, it was Hot 97, but I used to intern for them, and it was something. So I just let that I just say that, and I will write a book about it, and then you guys can read that. So yeah,
So you never did you grow up listening to Angie, Flex, Clue,
I
anyone?
call Flex Ashton because his name is Ashton, so I call him Ashton. But yeah, I didn't listen to Angie. I didn't really but growing up, I definitely listened to I don't say growing up, but like Ebro and them and Rosenberg and Ashton. So that's what I yeah.
That's great. Kind of like Monique calls, Charlemagne Leonard, even though
Yeah,
that is his real name. That's great.
yeah.
That's good stuff.
Everyone has like a fake. I think I use my real name. I just be like I'm Lamarck. Like I
Yeah,
just
me too. I'm who I am. I don't have
yeah
a character.
right. So I don't know, maybe I should get a nickname. I feel like at this point it's kind of like it's dumb now. Like I already they deal out with Lamarck, so I should just leave it with Lamarck. But
Yeah, Lamarck is the brand. You got to
yeah,
keep that. You got to
yeah,
keep that going.
yeah.
Has working in the radio business changed your perspective on it?
Absolutely. Working in entertainment in the whole has changed my perspective. I think that I was telling my former coworker this a couple of weeks ago. I was just like, I mean, you saw when he was working those concerts. Like, I just feel like like people go to concerts or go to like different like screenings or whatever to like get an escape from the reality. And I feel like we go to those things to like work, and like we go to those things to like we look at it differently because we're just like, is sound check happening? Is this happening? Like we don't, even if we go by ourselves like a different show, it's just like we're always gonna be like, oh wow, they're like running late on time. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. Or like they're doing this. So I can't really enjoy the show now because like my mind is so accustomed to what's happening behind the scenes or what should really happen. So now when I go to a show, I'm critiquing the whole shit, and it's just not the best. It's just not.
Really? I'm not
Yeah,
like that because I did AV in high school, and I know what it's like to be part of the show in some regard. But
right.
now when I watch a concert just for fun, when things go wrong, I kind of relate to it. Like, oh, I've been there. The mic is out. Oh, I've been there. There's tons of feedback. Yeah. So to me, it made me appreciate the business as a whole. It made me love concerts even more. So even though it's like, okay, I'm here just to enjoy myself. I don't have a call time or anything like that. I guess that's it.
No,
But
I feel you.
is there anything specific in like the radio business that you may have had a certain impression when you got in, and it was totally different from working in the business than from listening to it?
Other than the money, um,
That's a good point.
no, I mean, I just think that a lot of people, I thought, not for me per se, but a lot of people have a lot of producers and a lot of people writing their stuff for them. So it's kind of
Mm.
easier to like do that. I didn't know that. I thought when I was just listening that the people on the radio like did everything, that they ran the boards, like they got the topics together. And when I got to certain different stations, that was not the case. So I was like, oh, okay, so like they have a lot of help. Like it is a whole team putting this together. Like you have somebody working the board, you have a producer, you have people writing like their lines. So I was like, okay, cool. Like this is not, it's not what you thought it would be, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Like, do you ever? Because I know you want to kind of take the fresh movement and make it a lot more different things.
mhm.
Do you always want to be and like have your hands in it? Like, you want to be your own engineer. You want to be your own producer. Is that right?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. The goal is definitely to be a producer and the talent on the show. I'm not opposed to like having somebody come in and help and like help produce or everything like that, or like help with the talent. But I definitely want to always be producer slash host for the show.
So talk to me about the Fresh Movement as a brand. Like, what do you want to attach the name to? Like, what kind of products or what kind of entities or other pieces of media you would tie the Fresh Movement to?
Man, I don't. I like. I am a endorsement hoe. So if any endorsements would like to be part of the Fresh Movement, I am down. We recently just had a sex toy line, and honestly, it was cool. Like I thought it would be because that was my first endorsement deal, and I was like, okay, my first endorsement deal out the gate, and I'm doing sex toys. But it was cool. Like it was a nice little run, and I appreciated it. And people got their lives. So hey, I am. I think it's my show is now becoming more adult. Before when I started it, it was kind of for everybody, but now I feel like you got to be 18 plus because of the things we talk about a lot of sex on there. And that's when I first started it. It wasn't a lot of sex, but then I got older and I realized that people in their 20s have a lot of sex. So I was like, I cannot not talk about that. So sex has been a lot, and being an LGBTQ member, I think that that's not even on the air from I think about if I can do. I don't think I know any other gay out black personalities. I don't think I know any from the top of my head. Do you?
Do I? No, not off the top.
Yeah,
No, and it's kind of unfortunate that I
yeah,
can't just think of one.
right.
I mean, there's Elvis Duran. He's
Yeah,
white, but I haven't listened to much of his show to really understand if he's really talking about LGBTQ sex life and what have you.
yeah,
But I think your endorsement with the adult shop was pretty on brand with Lamarck After Dark
yeah,
on Instagram. So, what are you
yeah.
trying to achieve with this show? Is it like you said, being more adult and kind of tuning into the sex life of the 20 something?
Yeah, but it's just, I mean, the sex aside, it's really also just to be that. It's those 2 hours of the week to just laugh and have a good time. Like we talk about pop culture, advice, and just inspiring. Like I just think I try not to get political and I try not to get so serious on the show because I think that life is hard enough. Like I really want my show to continue to be a laughing factor. Like I think comedy is the strong suit of it. Comedy and just good music. Like I think that we, especially as minorities, go through a fucking lot in the world. And I just think that we should get a chance to just laugh and have a good time. And also, I think because it's on Friday, it's like the pre-turn up. So we have some good music, some good talk breaks, and you just listen to it before you get ready to go out to turn. Well, now you can't really party, but like if you going out to listen to a live or something, like whatever you're doing to have fun. Like I think that is the main goal of the show. And with this new direction, with these, I have these new two co-hosts coming up, and they will be starting, I believe, the end of this month. So the show is going to take a little bit of a turn. Cause I've never had. It's been three hosts. It's always been me and a female. So it will be very interesting to see how the dynamic goes with these two new hosts.
So tell me about the audition process for the new Fresh Movement co-host.
Okay. Well, I have my shout out to my old co-host, Cha Cha. We really rocked it, and she had to move back to Cleveland because of the whole pandemic. So I had to figure it the fuck out. As far as this audition process, I made a flyer and I opened it to everybody. Like I didn't care if you had experience. I didn't care if you never been on radio. Like I was just open it to anybody. And it just got really intense because everybody like would it's just the way people respond was very, very tough. Like they would kind of say like, "Hey, I'm interested," but it's just the way they kind of the way they kind of said it in the emails. Like I would get a lot of DMs, and I would just say, "Hey, well, email me like your bio, or, like why you're interested." And some people would be like, "Well, I don't really know if I'm like really want to do it." I'm like, so why would you? Why would you like I don't know, why would you contact me? And then I tried so that was a rough week with that. And then I had it was a job on Facebook. I think I put it on Facebook and I put it on I think Indeed, one of those things. And I got a lot of people that just wanted to get the money for it. And I was like, okay, this is not it because like I would put a line saying why are you interested in the show, and they would just say, well, I want to be like something about famous or rich. I was like, all right, you clearly don't watch the show. Like you clearly like this because this is not it. Like I'm not rich or famous. So I was like, okay. I had to really like dive in through the emails and through the DMs and see who really was qualified. And I got a good 10. And I was like, okay, cool. After I got to that 10, I had to narrow it down to 5, which was a little difficult. But I did that. We had a Zoom call with my friend Nova. She interviewed all 5 of those people, and she got back to me. I watched the interviews, and then we narrowed it down to 4. And it was hard, and I had to like really figure out who I wanted to ask. I initially wanted one person, but then I was like maybe 2 would be better because I feel like that one if I get one female, people would say, oh, that's the new Cha Cha, and they would try to compare it. Whereas like 2 people, I feel like would add something to the mix. So I have these dope 2, it's a male and a female. I'm not gonna announce their names yet because I don't want to like do that until like the whole rollout comes out. But yeah, like they're dope, and it's gonna be a really really good time. So yeah, also shout out to Malcolm because he helped me with the interview process as well. He was definitely on one of those Zoom calls. So shout out to Malcolm.
Yeah, I watched your and Malcolm's After Dark special. It was very interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
I think Malcolm has a way of his innuendo game is through the roof. It's
yeah,
hysterical. It's just you guys are, and the one thing I liked about it was you two are just being yourselves
Right.
naturally. That's all. And just kind of like, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's kind of like a stigma of LGBTQ, sexual relations. And I think
Hmm.
your program, your guys' show kind of helped kind of eradicate that.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Malcolm, we like homies. He is the best gay black brother that I didn't know I needed. So yeah, he has helped me through a lot of different situations. So shout out to Malcolm, man. Yeah, I always that stigma is so whack to me, but I kind of understand it because a lot of LGBTQ that I know can be a little messy with that. But I'm I'm all for like helping the minority, whether if you're black, whether if you have like you're gay, whatever. Like I'm always down to help whoever. That's my goal. I'm not a judgy person. I think that we all put our pants on the same way. It's just I don't like ignorant people. So like if you're ignorant, whether you're I can't rock with you. I can't rock with the ignorance. That's not my forte. But
So what are some of the next steps of the evolution of the fresh movement? Like where are you what are you trying to do next with it?
I'm definitely trying to get the fresh movement on some type of huger platform, whether that's on a different station or a different television, like TV. I'm definitely trying to brand it out and definitely get more sponsors. So, fresh movement is just getting started. I'm also trying to do more live shows. Like the live show was very it was very dope. I wasn't expecting people to really like it so much. Like I was if people who the guys don't know, like I had a whole show at the Playroom Theater, and we did the show live, and we got a really good response, and people loved it. And I'm definitely trying to do more of those because that was a cute little coin. So I'm definitely trying to get my hand in that when this whole pandemic thing wraps up.
Yeah, I was actually going to go, but I was doing a podcast that day. But so what happened? What was it like?
It was cool. We had performances, we had hosts, we had some swag stuff, we had some snacks. Like we had it was pretty much the fresh movement just with the live audience. So like the same type of show just with the live audience. And we got people instead of me doing Lamarck's corner with me just reading the questions, we got people from the audience to read their questions. Like it was a really interactive good time. Like I wanted people because I hate when I spend my money on something and I don't get my money's worth. And I feel like they got their money's worth and then some, which is little I should charge more. Because I felt like they got a goodie bag, they got a show, they got a performances, they got food, and I think it was affordable. I think it was under $20, I believe. So we sold out, and I was really glad to like have. That was a really good moment for me to be like, okay, wow, people like really rock with the show. So I really got to keep going, keep pushing, and keep persevering.
All right, Lamarck, thank you so much for coming on My Little Underground. So people can listen to the Fresh Movement Fridays, 7 to 9 p.m.,
Yes,
iHeartRadio app, and radio.com.
yes, Party 101.9 Radio. That is the you just go to that and you should like look it up like PARTY 101.9 Radio. Look it up on iHeartRadio, look it up on radio.com, 7 and 9 Fridays.
And Lamarck After Dark.
Yeah.
You don't want to put that out there.
The Mark After Dark was like it was cute when I had the whole sex toy endorsement thing like that. It was fun, but I don't know. Like I'm not trying to like sell sex in that aspect. Like it was cool, but the messages I got were very derogatory, and I'm just
Okay.
yeah. So we're gonna put that on hold for right now. The main focus is the fresh movement and that. So yeah,
Okay, where can people follow you?
follow me at Lamarck_fresh on Instagram and Twitter, and please like the Fresh Movement on Facebook.
All right, Lamarck, thanks so much.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
you.
you, man. Thank you for having me, and shout out to you for having a pod. Shout out to you for always being so nice and for always being so encouraging. I think that it's not a lot of people that I've met in this industry that have been super nice and super. You're always giving great advice, and you're not being a hater, and that sounds so like seventh grade, but it's so true in this industry. Like so many people like fake it or like say they want you to win, but like go behind your back and do some shady shit. But you have been super cool, and I really appreciate you and your platform and for having me. So thank you so much.
I appreciate that, Lamarck. Thank you.
No problem.